Hey, what's going on everyone? Dan Taylor from danthepixarfan.com here. Happy to be back with another review for you guys, and today I have something I couldn't be more excited about, and that would be this beautifully made, full-scale, movie-accurate custom replica of Mr. Spell, as seen in the first two Toy Story films, and in more recently, the Forky Asked a Question episode, What is Reading? This was made by the amazingly talented Toy Story Custom Replicas UK, whose eBay store I'll link below, as well as their Etsy shop and Instagram page. I'm super grateful that they were able to get this to me all the way from the UK in time for Christmas, since I only ordered it like a month or so prior, and yeah, it arrived in plenty of time, and I was able to enjoy opening it on Christmas morning, which was so much fun. Now, Mr. Spell here is one of those memorable and iconic side characters in Andy's room that doesn't have much screen time, but it's one I've always wanted as part of my Toy Story collection as a full-scale toy. I've waited and hoped for Disney Pixar to produce an official Mr. Spell toy since 1995, but to this day, over 26 years later, and it still hasn't happened. However, the good news is Toy Story fans from literally around the globe, who are much more talented than I am, have taken matters into their own hands and, using a variety of methods, but mostly using 3D printing technology, which in more recent years has become very accessible to consumers, they've been able to make characters like Mr. Spell here and others who haven't been officially produced. This gives us fellow fans a chance to finally have them as part of our collection as well, so that's just super cool. What a neat community. So, long story short, I'm, again, just very grateful to have this character in my collection after all this time, thanks to Toy Story Replicas UK. And let me tell you guys right off the bat, this thing is just about perfect in everything that I hoped for. I mean, look at it. It even comes in this custom retro-inspired box that seems completely legit. I don't take buying Toy Story customs lightly at all. I'm very picky, and I've only gotten a very few for my collection that I felt were truly worthy to stand by my officially made toys, like the ones by Thinkway and Disney Store and such, and I'm happy to report that this Mr. Spell here is definitely worthy. Okay guys, without any further delay, let's just go ahead and take Mr. Spell here out of the box, shall we? So upon opening, you'll notice that he is wrapped nicely in bubble wrap, which helped keep him nice and safe and protected while traveling to me. And here he is out of the box, and I'm still in awe over here that I actually finally have a Mr. Spell as part of my Toy Story replica collection. And I mean, again, to me, this is just such a flawless representation of the character. Just look at him, everyone. The details, the size, and the colors, they all seem to be right on the money, and I'm just amazed that this is fan-made. Okay, now to address the elephant in the room, no, this is not an electronic toy, or replica rather, so of course he doesn't operate like the character in the film. That aspect, I guess, keeps this from being 100% movie accurate, because there's no real screen and the buttons don't work, nothing like that. But given how complex and expensive that would have been to achieve, I would have never expected to see Mr. Spell's electronic features integrated into a custom like this. It wouldn't have been any small feat to build one of these that actually works and sounds like the real Mr. Spell from the film, or even the vintage Texas Instruments Speak and Spell toy this character is inspired by. Now, the creator of this custom, however, did come up with an incredibly clever way around that though, and I absolutely adore the alternative route that they took in order to be able to at least portray the electronic features. I'll be showing that off and what's behind this battery compartment door in just a few moments, which is also absolutely brilliant. I mean, I just love how the creator of this Mr. Spell went the extra mile and included an actual opening battery compartment and pseudo speaker, even though there are no sounds or electronics. It's seriously above and beyond. It's all so convincing. Mr. Spell is seen from the back in the film at a couple points, and this looks just like it. And now, as far as size, Mr. Spell is 8 inches wide, about 7 inches tall, and has a depth of about 2 inches. Now, I'm not sure exactly how big Mr. Spell is supposed to be in the film, but the size of this custom does seem about right to me, and I trust that the creator did their research to make it as close as possible from probably just looking over screenshots and guesstimating the dimensions as best as they could. I also wanted to show here just how solid Mr. Spell stands. There's even a bit of weight to it, which I love. And yeah, this thing feels and stands really sturdy. The parts are 3D printed and painted very smoothly. All the plastic feels very smooth when you touch it. I'm telling you, you honestly can hardly tell that this isn't professional manufacturer quality. I mean, obviously when you inspect it really close, you can tell that this is custom made, but this is seriously very, very well done. I also wanted to mention something I only just noticed for the first time when working on this review. How have I never noticed that Mr. Spell's design actually changes slightly between the first two films? Look, where the spacebar is on his keypad in Toy Story 1, it just says Mr. Spell. In Toy Story 2, in that same spot, it's now divided into two buttons which say Space and Speak. So yeah, this custom is specifically modeled after the version from the first film. It's baffling to me that that detail slipped by me for all these years, but yeah, there you have it. A little fun fact for you if you hadn't noticed either. Okay, so now for the super fun part that I hinted at earlier. Now, where the screen would be on Mr. Spell, this is actually a magnetic board. So to simulate the look of Mr. Spell typing and speaking, the creator of this custom included 7 magnets that you can attach featuring most of his main, or at least most memorable lines from the first 2 Toy Story films. How cool is that? Okay, so here we got har ha 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 from when Mr. Potato Head is, well, you know. We have what from when Woody announces Andy's birthday party had been moved to that day. There's Al's Toy Barn from when Buzz is using Mr. Spell to decipher Al's license plate number. There's 13.5, which is of course 13.5 seconds, Buster's new record time for finding Woody. We have the question marks, which is what Mr. Spell displays when coming out of the closet just after Andy drops off Buzz in his room for the first time. Here's You're welcome, Mr. Spell's response to Woody, thanking him for the plastic corrosion awareness meeting. There's Lou's thigh burn, again from when Buzz is deciphering Al's license plate. And then, guys, Toy Story Replicas UK went above and beyond yet again and added one more for me, and I was so not prepared for this awesomeness when I opened this up, but check it out, Dan the Pixar fan. How freaking cool is that? Not to mention incredibly thoughtful. Thank you so much. By the way, if you're placing an order for this, you can actually let them know you'd like a custom phrase as well, and you can have it say whatever you want within the space limitations, of course. This, though, was a total surprise to me. I didn't order it, and I am so super thankful. Seeing this little addition elevated the whole opening experience on Christmas morning that much more for me. And now, as you can see here, just how great these look when stuck to the display area and how easily they pop on and off. This feature is super creative and pretty much perfectly executed. Lastly, going back to the battery compartment as promised, let's go ahead and have a look inside to see what other clever details are included. Okay, just got things unscrewed here, and check it out. 4 fake C batteries featuring a B&L Easter egg. Of course, this is referencing the company By and Large, introduced in WALL-E, but this Easter egg is also technically canon to the Toy Story film, since in Toy Story 3, Buzz is seen having B&L batteries as well, which was an Easter egg in that film. Buzz's were AA, and these are C's, but they ultimately use the same general design. Anyway, what an unbelievably fun touch, and my hat goes off to Toy Story Custom Replicas for pulling this off once again and taking things to the next level here. Okay, anyway, to wrap things up, if you've been hoping to add a Mr. Spell to your full-scale Toy Story collection for forever, like I have, and feel an official one just won't ever get made at this point, or at least not anytime soon, I cannot recommend this enough if you can swallow the $121.47 price tag. And that's not including shipping to the US, which is another $31.99, so expect to drop over $150 on this one, but to me it was totally worth it, and it's so satisfying to finally see this character represented on my Toy Story shelf next to the rest of Andy's toys after 26 years. If an official one finally gets made down the road, sure, that would be great and I'd be stoked, but for now, this replica totally fills the gap perfectly and I'm happy at this point, whether we get an official one or not. And also, just a side note, it probably goes without saying, but this is definitely for older, more serious collectors and really is meant to be used as a display piece rather than an actual functional toy for young kids. Well, what do you guys think, though? Anyone out there pick one of these up for their collection or plan to? As always, I'm looking forward to reading all your comments below, and if you did enjoy this review, I hope you'll consider giving this video a big thumbs up and subscribing to my channel for more Pixar toy news and reviews from my personal collection. Don't forget to ring that bell. Find me all over social media at Dan the Pixar Fan, and I will see you in my next video.